Hello and welcome to the Nonsensical Podcast. This is episode 1, the Prequel.
Hi there, everybody, and welcome into the Nonsensical Podcast, a show hosted by two hot guys with even hotter views. I'm one of your hosts, Sam Wilkerson, and along with me in the host chair is Nate. Nate, why don't you tell the nice people a little bit about yourself?
Hey guys, so I am Nate, like you said. Thank you for the intro there, Sam. I'm actually from Columbus, Ohio, so we are actually doing this call remotely. I went to school here. I grew up here, went to college here, but I am actually in the tech industry. So I build websites for a living, but I also print shirts and do some stuff like that. As far as what I feel confident talking about in the podcast, I think I have a very good knowledge of football, specifically college football mostly, but just football as a whole, I think I am pretty confident in, and then sports and politics and some games as well. So as we kind of figure out this podcasting thing and work down the line of figuring out what we want to talk about and where we want to go, I think Sam and I combined will have a pretty good understanding of what we're talking about and hopefully can inform you guys some.
All right, well, it's back to me. Like I said, I'm Sam Wilkerson. I am from Laurel, Mississippi. I'm born and raised here. Been here all 22 years. I go to the University of Southern Mississippi, where I'm an accounting student. I'm ready to be done. Let's see. I feel like I don't have a very good understanding of college football, but I have some very heated opinions. I have a pretty good understanding of video games, so I think we'll be able to bounce off of each other and play well.
I think that that understanding of college football comes from me having that powerhouse of Ohio State here, and that lack of understanding on your side might be from the Jackson State or maybe Ole Miss.
I mean, all I'm saying is we have Deion Sanders, and Mike Leach just kicked Coach O right up and down the field.
All right, Sam. So as far as this
I claim Mississippi State is when they win.
Hey, they won this week against was it LSU? Was that who they played? Oklahoma?
Yep,
one of the bigger teams.
Death Valley.
That wasn't Death Valley, yeah. They knocked off someone. I knew that.
You don't have to remind me about my Sooners losing either.
You're an Oklahoma fan?
Yeah, I thought you knew that. My family's originally from Oklahoma.
I did not know that. Huh. You learn something new every day, I guess.
I mean, you know.
It's fine. They won't be in the playoffs either way, so.
Says you. I can't wait for them to get to the playoffs and beat your Gators. Just pound them into the ground.
My Gators are going all the way after our quarterback, Kyle Trask, wins the Heisman, of course.
I mean, I guess it's a matter of opinion. But I guess it is something notable is that Nate is the Florida man.
Yeah, I didn't grow up in Florida, but with most of my family being there, I was there a lot when I was younger. So kind of jumped around from St. Augustine to Naples to Clearwater, but kind of all around the state. I've got a pretty good understanding of the state and a love for the state, and obviously a love for our football down there. So even though I'm up here in cold Ohio right now, it's about 50 degrees outside. I still rooting for my Gators down south.
Oh yeah, it's been a lot cooler down here. It's been, I think it was like 68 last night. Got down in the 50s. Yeah, different, you know. Everyone's got their igloo. They got their down jackets out.
Oh my gosh! You know what I wore to shorts today? Shorts. You know what I wore to work today?
What's that?
Shorts and a t-shirt. And when I got to work, it was probably a solid 45 degrees.
Oh, no, that's...
Our days, the highest of the days here are like anywhere from 55 to 65 the next like week or so, but that means that at night it's anywhere from like 30 to 40.
Oh yeah, it got cold that night that we were up whenever we went camping for your bachelor party.
Oh, that wasn't cold.
It was cold for me. It was cold for me.
You don't have that thick
Yeah.
Ohio blood. That's what it is.
Oh, that's what it is.
You'll get it. Once you move up here, you'll get it.
I guess we'll
Mosquitoes
have
will
to
love
see
it
about
too.
that. Oh my gosh.
So what is your kind of vision for the podcast, Sam? What are you thinking long term?
So I mean, I'm thinking long term, make money. No, that's a fever dream. What I'm thinking long term is, just a couple of guys sitting around having fun, talking about just about anything we want to, you know. That's what I enjoy. I want it to just feel very natural, like you're just sitting with a couple of friends down having some dinner, just talking about the events of the week.
Yeah, that's kind of my hope too. And I know this is our first recording, so it's probably a little rough, a little awkward. But yeah, it's kind of my viewpoint as well. Like I just want it to feel like obviously we're having a conversation with ourselves, and if we have a guest on, then we'll be having a conversation with them as well. But I want the viewer, the listener, whoever is listening into this to feel like they're a part of the conversation as well. And even like, and this isn't something I've bounced off you, Sam. So shoot me down if you don't think it's a good idea. But in the future, maybe like if we get some comments on some stuff on YouTube, or if we get like a good review on the Apple Podcast app or Spotify, wherever we put our podcast out, maybe we'll give you guys a shout out, or we'll answer some questions. You guys can always email us as well. That email is, I have it pulled up. I think it's just the nonsensical podcast at gmail.com, I believe.
Oh yeah,
yeah, always.
That.
Yeah, so just shoot us questions if you guys have them. But yeah, that's kind of my thought as well. Like I just want to have a conversation, talk about everything from politics to video games to football to food, likes, dislikes, crazy news stories. I mean, I couldn't care less. I just feel like you're hanging out with one of your friends and your family. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, and I've been sitting here nodding along, and I just realized that this is going to be completely audio, so I am in agreement with everything that Nate just said. But go ahead, go back, fill that in.
Yeah, that's the benefit of a podcast, Sam. It's not a video cast. For those of you listening on YouTube, you'll probably see the logo we have up, but you're still not going to see our faces. Maybe someday, but not right now.
Maybe one day. I hope one day. I mean, Nate's got a face made for podcasting.
Yep, that's what they tell me.
I'm sorry, I think that's actually an insult.
I don't know. Joe Rogan's a pretty attractive guy, wouldn't you say?
I mean, I'll give him a 9. 9, yeah.
Hey, he was a UFC fighter. He's got to be buff, right?
I mean, yeah. He is pretty ripped. I'm sure he is. He posts pictures of himself working out like his shins for some reason. Like that, have you seen those things? They're like, it's like a roller that they roll up and down their shin. I don't know.
Oh, like the muscle relaxer thing. It's got like the giant looking beads on it.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, we had those in high school. When I ran track. I didn't run track. I was a thrower. I ran like once every 5 meets, but that's what they use in track to warm their muscles up. So they'd run it over their calves.
Well, what would he be doing like on his shin?
I have no clue.
That just feels like it would be painful.
Maybe he's just itching or something.
It's like that scene from The Accountant. Have you seen The Accountant?
No, that sounds like something
with Ben Affleck. Oh, yeah, I mean,
with the
technically it is. I mean, I don't know why you haven't seen it, because you look exactly like Ben Affleck. That's what. If you want to envision Nate while you're listening to this podcast, just think about Ben Affleck with a beard. That's Nate, basically.
See, I don't know if I agree with that, but you've told me that before. I don't know if it's you or someone else, but I have heard that in the past.
It was me. I've told you that several times.
Honestly, I watch so little movies. I can't even think of who Ben Affleck is off the top of my head, and I'm looking it up on my computer right now as we're talking. But
you gotta get one. Oh, there he is with a beard.
Okay. I guess I can kind of see it. Got the same face shape at least.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the basic features are there.
I
I didn't
suppose so.
realize how much he looks like Ryan Reynolds.
He
So
does
I
look a
guess,
bit
in
like
a
Ryan
way, I
Reynolds.
just told you you look like Ryan Reynolds, so
I'm
that
basically
makes up
Deadpool.
for the insult.
What topic wise, what do you think we should talk about on the podcast, Sam?
I think we're going to talk about, college football, professional football, video games, board games, games of any kind, emotional games. Maybe a little later down the road, we'll talk about some politics. I don't know about starting off on that. It's a little bit of a divisive subject.
Kind of kills your audience, you know.
Yeah, polarize, Go ahead and
Yeah.
sort them out.
I mean, honestly, like, I couldn't care less about your politics. Like, yes, I love talking about politics, and I think I am fairly confident in my viewpoints, but that doesn't mean that we can't get along even if we don't agree on something. I think that that's kind of something that people should not base their entire opinion and friendship around. Like, I know that Sam and I both line up on just about everything, but I don't think there's any reason to jump into politics just because it's creates division that doesn't have to be there, you know.
Exactly. Exactly.
I did have another thought. I was and this is probably more for the guys that are listening to this, but Sam and I both like our cigars and our pipes. So maybe some cigar suggestions. Maybe we'll have a segment on cigars weekly or monthly. Who knows? We'll come up with something, but that's another thought.
We do like that. I have to explain that one to my uncle when he listens. I really hope my grandparents don't listen to this.
Sam, I think your audio's cutting out a bit. Maybe check your adapter real quick. But
Oh, is it? Dang it!
no,
Did
you're
it come
clear now.
unplugged again?
You're clear now.
There we go. So yeah, that's a fun fact for the audience at home. Whenever I tuned in to record, I had not plugged my mic in, and I was just sitting here talking until I finally realized that my mic was unplugged.
Sam's basically recording from a basement in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
Yeah, I have like a little dangly thing back here.
Obviously, you guys can't see what he's talking about, but it looks like there's something hanging from the ceiling. I can't even tell what it is, but kind of creepy looking.
It's like
little
a
bit of a
wind
light.
chime kind of thing. But yeah, it looks like the chains hanging from the ceiling in Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Is that a thing that just happens down south? Chainsaw murders?
I mean, there was actually something in Florida like 3 or 4 months ago where some guys went fishing and a couple of guys pulled up on them and killed them.
The heck?
Apparently, it was like
crazy.
it was like a case of mistaken identity. One of them had overheard one of the guys talking at Dollar General about how they were going fishing, and the guy thought that a guy that had stolen a motor from him was going to be there. So he just pulled up and killed all 3 of them, and then found out the guy he was looking for wasn't there.
All right.
That happened in Florida.
Then.
That happened in
What
your great state.
No. Hold on. Listen. I claim Florida football. I never claimed the state of Florida. I might have more connections than you do, but that doesn't mean I'm Floridian. I'm still in Ohio.
I hold you to being a Floridian.
Oh, gosh.
I hold you to being from both awful states, Florida and Ohio.
Hey, at least we don't have any hurricanes up here in Ohio.
I mean, that's true. I don't know. You got hit with like some of the hurricane from Laura, was it?
We usually get what's left of the hurricane. So by the time it hits up here, it's more of just a storm. I mean, we'll get occasionally a little bit of like thunder and lightning with it if it's combined with something else coming over from like Indiana, because that's where our weather comes from. But usually just a bunch of rain. I was actually, when I was on my honeymoon 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it's about 2 weeks ago. We were in North Carolina. We were in Asheville, Waynesville, but barely North Carolina, almost Tennessee. So just north of like you guys down there. And we got hit with what was left of the hurricane. It rained for a solid like 3 days.
Oh yeah. That was which one was that? Oscar? That's
I have
one of
no
the
clue.
latest
Whichever
ones.
one you told me hit Bama, I think was the same one.
Oh yeah. That'd been Oscar, I think. But yeah, that
Huh.
one was supposed to hit us and it like moved over at the last second. We got
Yep.
nothing from it.
Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
we've
we
had
usually
3
don't
that were supposed to hit us.
this year already.
Yeah.
Really?
2 of them were supposed to hit us at the same time. And then they
Yeah, I remember
split.
that. When how many do you usually get a year?
I usually Florida takes the brunt of them, the Atlantic.
Yeah.
We usually will have 1 or 2 real threats every year,
And a bunch of rain.
but that'll be just a bunch of rain. We haven't had a really bad one in a long time. I'm trying to think of when the
Really?
last really bad one was. I mean,
Katrina.
I don't want to go all the way back to Katrina, but I think that might have been the last really bad one for us. There was one,
Yeah, but
they had that one hit Houston a couple of years ago, but that one didn't even touch
yeah, I
us.
forgot about that one. You're far enough north in the state though. You probably don't have to worry about as much as someone on the coastline.
Yeah, definitely not as much damage. Whenever
Probably not as
Katrina
much
came
flooding, at
through,
least.
we had a lot of we had a little bit of flooding whenever Katrina came through. Our power was out for like 2 weeks. That was the biggest part. Yeah, bathed in a kiddie pool in the backyard.
We had that
So that
once. I don't
was
know. I don't know if it was leftover of Katrina, but we had a hurricane when I was in. Oh, was it like middle school? I just remember it knocked our power out for an entire week, which is pretty unheard of in Ohio because we really don't have our natural disasters like you guys do. But it knocked our power out for a week, and I was going to like relatives' house to shower, and we bought a generator, and it would power the house for like a couple hours a day, and that's when I'd like charge my phone and play Xbox and stuff like that. But yeah, it was interesting.
well, I mean, you guys have the Bengals and the Browns, so those are enough natural disasters for your state.
Hey, the curse of Cleveland's real. I'm telling you.
Gosh,
The Cavs were
y'all
great
just
like
stole that
4 years
from
ago.
Boston, the Curse of the Bambino.
Oh heck no, heck no. The curse of Cleveland is real. Every Cleveland sports team suffers the curse of Cleveland. The Indians were this close to winning the World Series, gone. The Cavs were
The
good for like
Indians are
2
in the
years. Now they're the worst team in the NBA. Maybe actually, I guess I think they're one ahead of the Warriors. And then obviously there's the Browns, which they're pretty much hopeless. It's hopeless at this point. Probably why I'm a Jags fan. But hey, my Jags are actually playing the Bengals this week.
Oh, easy win for the Jags.
That's what I've been reading, but I don't know. I've also heard that Joe Burrow is going to have a really good game, so I don't know.
Be a good high scoring game. I don't know that either of them really have good defenses.
Yeah, we kind of lost our D line a while back. I mean, we got I think we still having what's his name, Yannick Ngakwe. I believe I'm not positive, but he was really our only defender for a while, and obviously we lost. Who was the corner? The corner that went to
Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey. Yep, those were pretty much the stars of our defense, and we're basically falling apart at this point.
Out the door.
Hey, we got a good running back though. No,
door.
Robinson's like top 5 in the league, I think.
Oh yeah. You got Gardner Minshew,
Oh yeah.
the dad of the NFL.
Oh yeah.
He and
That-
Baker Mayfield. That's my 2 favorite quarterbacks.
Just because they feel like old men.
They do.
Did you see?
Yeah,
the,
Baker Mayfield's the first one in a while that's actually been a good actor too. I don't know if you've seen his commercials.
Yeah, those commercials are actually really
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah,
did
usually
you see
athletes come in. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, did you see the promos for the Jags Dolphins game last week? It was showing. It was like
Oh no.
what was it, like the battle of the beards or something like that? Because like Carter Minshew's got that Fu Manchu going on, and then
Yeah.
Ryan Fitzpatrick's just Bigfoot over there. But
Oh yeah. Did you see?
it was a good
Ryan
game. I mean, we got
Fitzpatrick's-
smacked, but
Did you see Ryan Fitzpatrick's speech about his chest hair after the game?
no. What?
Oh, that was hilarious. I think maybe a reporter how they have to do like they social distance, so it looks like he's up on a podium giving a speech whenever he's doing his post game. And I guess a reporter asked him. He was wearing a button-up shirt, but he had it unbuttoned, like down to his belly button. And I guess a reporter asked him why, and he said, "Well, I fought the chest hair for a while, but now I realize that it's actually a personality trait.
Yeah, you got to
I just like
embrace
to
it.
let it open up free."
You've never seen me play sand volleyball in the summer. I usually wear a Hawaiian shirt and obviously some shorts, but nothing else. Just an unbuttoned Hawaiian shirt up top. You can see all that chest hair. That's when you know you're old, Sam. When you don't care
I
anymore.
mean, I guess so. A 22-year-old man.
Who's older? Yeah, your birthday's May 5th because you have the same as my mom. So I'm a little bit older than you, I guess.
When's your birthday?
March 24th.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I'm just like a month
Yeah,
out of you.
I guess your mom asked me that on Facebook, I think.
What?
If my birthday was May 5th, and I assumed that was hers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a birthday. I thought I told you that in Canada. That's actually,
You
we
may
haven't talked
have.
about that yet. I didn't think about that. That's
Oh
for those
yeah,
of you
we were
listening.
supposed to talk about that.
Yeah, that's actually how Sam and I met. So, I guess I can kind of intro it, and then Sam can kind of tell the story.
Yeah.
But basically, we both interned at a church up there in Canada. It's called Multiply Church, and some of you listening might actually be familiar with it. But they are actually in Calgary, so pretty far west, only 5-6 hours from Vancouver. So definitely mountain time zone, not anywhere near us. But Sam, if you want to kind of talk about your story, how you found Multiply, and then I can kind of tell mine.
Yeah, so it was actually a kind of a crazy story. It was completely off my radar. Had no plans. I was kind of looking what I wanted to do for the summer. I was working, or I wasn't working. I was volunteering with a church here in Laurel. And one Sunday after church, I walked downstairs to get something, and a lady in our church said, "Hey, you want to spend your summer in Canada?" And I said, "I don't know, do I?" And so she told me, she said, "Yeah, go fill out this application." Or no, she emailed me the application and said, "Send this to
Yep.
Jeremy Hall, at Multiply, and he'll get you set up." And so I emailed him the application. He called and we did an interview, and then he offered me the position. And so then I met Nate a couple weeks later. We started texting, and then we got to meet, and that was where it all started.
Sounds like a love story, right?
It does. It's a meet cute. That's our
Yeah,
origin
no.
story.
From my side of it, basically, so I was actually going to Ohio State, and I just had this feeling that God was just calling me to do something else. I was going to school for business management, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's what I've known. That's what I've done since like freshman year of high school. I mean, by the time I was a senior, that was the only class I was taking, and then I was just leaving at like noon because there was nothing else to take. So I know business. That's what I'm used to do. That's what I've always done. So it didn't really feel out of place for me. But for some reason, I just had this feeling that God was calling me to something else. So I dropped out of Ohio State, said, "Okay, take me where you want me, do what you want with me, whatever. I'm listening." Didn't know what that meant. I kind of felt that he was pulling me towards missions. So I'm like, all right, I'll sign up for a couple trips. I signed up for at the time it was a Haiti trip. It turned into a Bahamas trip. And then I also signed up for a trip to Calgary. So I went on the Bahamas trip. That was actually the second one I went on after Calgary, but I won the Bahamas trip, and I'm like, yeah, it was good. It wasn't anything that like was super life changing or like I don't feel called here. It's just, I mean, it was good. I mean, we did a lot of help there. We ran some almost like a VBS and a little tiny church there with a bunch of local Haitians that lived in the Bahamas, but I mean, nothing crazy. Didn't really feel called to go back, but I did go on a trip to Calgary, like I said, and that was with probably like 10 to 15 other people at Jersey. So actually, when I say Jersey, I'm actually referencing Jersey Church here. So that's the church that I'm a part of. But went with a small group. We went up and ran some sports and arts camps. And Matt, the college pastor here, is like, "Hey, do you want to kind of plan and run these?" Because I had done it for a few years for Jersey for like our local missions trip, because we do a sports and arts camp here in Pataskala where I live. And He's like, hey, do you want to run these? I know you're probably comfortable with it. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. How hard can it be? Got there, ran the camps. It was great. But I just had this feeling that like this is where I needed to be. This feeling that like this is a place that just feels so broken, and it feels like a place where God is calling me. So I talked to Chris, who's actually the pastor up there at Multiply, and I'm like, hey, like I wasn't even asking about the internship actually. Now that I think about it, I was just kind of making conversation, and he's like, hey, if you liked it up here, you should come back. I'm like, oh, how so? He's like, well, we got this internship, and it's like 3 months, 2-3 months. You come up, you run all of our camps, help all of our mission teams while they're up here, and then you kind of ship off and head home. I'm like, oh, well, that sounds interesting. And like I thought it was really interesting immediately, but I prayed on it, and it was almost like within 12 hours, 24 hours, I had made my decision. I was going. So it was about a year actually of waiting, but about 6 months in, Jeremy, I don't know if he texted me or emailed me, but he's like, hey, I found this guy that might be coming. He's like, he would probably room with you. I'm like, all right, sounds cool. Let me text him. I'm like, that sounds good to me, because I was going to spend like $3,600 that summer just on rooming. So if I could share it with someone, that'd be great. So I started texting Sam and learned that he's a nerd like I am. So we got along pretty well, but that's kind of how I got there. But it was fun. It was definitely a busy summer, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'd like to take a moment to give the first shout out of the podcast, and that's to Jeremy Hall. What a guy!
What a guy!
This wouldn't be possible without him. I mean, he's a man of many talents. He's in seminary. He's working with a church. He can draft a fantasy football team that would put John Madden to shame.
Yeah, we were talking about that before the podcast, and maybe we'll have him on to talk about it. But this dude somehow always drafts the perfect team. Like this week, I think he's projected to get like 170 points, something ridiculous. And Sam's, of course, playing him in both of our leagues. But
oh yeah, and I am by far the worst in our league.
Yeah, Jeremy, like he's like, well, I'll watch the draft and I'll watch the team he picks, and I'm like, oh, those seem like really mediocre picks. And then like halfway through the season, I'm like, what the heck? How does he have like the top 5 players in every position?
Yeah, it is. You wouldn't assume that out of Jeremy. He's not like the super jock type, Mr. Football man cave. You wouldn't assume that he would be over here picking winning teams, Super Bowl winning teams. I mean, I think that somebody, a manager in the NFL, should jump on that opportunity. Get Jeremy in there as your scout.
There you go. Bring him into the Browns. See if they can turn that program around. Jeremy is head coach.
I don't think it's any lack of talent that they're missing. I mean, they have Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, OBJ, Jarvis Landry, Baker Mayfield, the best quarterback of all time.
All right, Oklahoma fan, whatever you say.
Boomer Sooner.
Yeah, you're our resident Sooner. That's what we're gonna call you.
I'll take that.
Yeah, but I mean, no, yeah, definitely shout out to Jeremy. We love that dude. Like I said, maybe we'll have him on sometime. Maybe we'll get him to talk about Canada or games or football or something. But
oh yeah, games, board games. That's the bread and butter there. He knows so much about board games.
Yeah, he does.
What really does.
As far as kind of consistent things we kind of want to do in the podcast, really the only thing that we have in mind right now is our Florida news story. So do we have any Florida news for today, Sam?
Oh, let's see.
See what Sam can pull up here. So basically, while he's looking that up, let me tell you guys what the idea behind this is. So don't really have a name for it yet, but basically the idea is that every podcast, we're going to give you guys a Florida news story and kind of update you on the crazy stuff happening in that state. There's always something going on. I mean, no end to that craziness.
Yep, I'm working on it here. I mean, Brad Parscale got arrested in Florida, Trump's former campaign manager, but, you know, that's not that crazy.
That's true.
I mean,
I forgot about that. I forgot that was Florida.
Yeah. I'm trying to find.
Pull it up,
I'm not
Jamie.
seeing anything. Yeah, pull it up, Joe. Bring. That's a joke from the other day. Me and Nate said we're gonna get big enough that I'm gonna get Joe Rogan in here as our Jamie and tell him to pull it up, Joe, all the time.
Yeah, it's the Nate and Sam podcast with Joe Rogan. That's what it'll be.
There you go. The Nate and Sam experience.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I'm not finding anything really good here. Disneyland
Right,
laid
maybe
off
next.
like 28,000 people.
Really? Didn't
Yeah.
they just open again recently? Well, Florida, the whole Florida state of
Yeah,
Florida is open now, I guess. But
Disney World is opened. They're not letting Disneyland open.
Disneyland
Because
is
of
in
the
California.
California
That's
government.
right.
Yeah, I know. I thought about that after I said it too.
Yep, I forgot
Oh,
that it landed.
I mean, this is a little tidbit. Brad Parscale had like 12 guns confiscated from him.
Wonder if there's anything.
All right,
Good
I can't find anything good for Florida, but we will give you an Arkansas headline, and that
Oh
is
God, here we
Pastor
go.
does exorcism on toddler and used meth with church members, Arkansas cops say. So I think bold prediction here, 3 years down the line you can come back and hold my feet to this. I think that Arkansas will be the next Florida. I think we'll start having Arkansas Man. I mean, it's poised to take over. I think that they could really upset the reigning champs.
To be honest, I am Googling Arkansas right now because I don't know where it is in the country.
You don't know where Arkansas is?
I'm sorry, I'm
It's
not
like-
a Southerner.
It's right above Louisiana, to the
Yeah, I
west
see that now.
of Mississippi.
See, if it's farther south than Ohio, I couldn't care less.
Oh my gosh.
No, Arkansas kind of gets lost. Now that I'm looking at where it's at, it's a weird spot because I know Texas and Oklahoma and New Mexico and all that, and I know like the Mississippi, Bama, like Tennessee line. I just forgot Arkansas was kind of in the middle of all that.
You just forgot about Arkansas. That's all right. Everybody forgets about Arkansas. It's not a great state. So this guy's name was Lloyd Eddie Lasker Jr. And that is the name that I would have fit with this news story. Eddie needed to be in there. That was.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I think that might be it for our podcast today.
Yeah, it's kind of been all over the place today. In the future, we'll be probably a little bit more organized with it. I know that I have a very ADD kind of brain, and so I just kind of jump to subjects whenever I think about it.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I think we
we'll
both
try
can be
our
like
best
that.
In
but
the future.
Yeah, we also didn't really have a topic for the day, so we kind of just jumped around. But
yeah,
hopefully it wasn't too long for you guys.
As much as we did.
Hopefully it wasn't too long for you guys. Hopefully at least gives you a little bit of a taste of maybe what we'll be talking about. Maybe just how dumb we are. We'll see. I don't know. But thank you guys for listening in. Go ahead and go follow us on social media. So we've got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and we actually have a YouTube channel as well. Hopefully this video will be up real soon on YouTube. Don't know how long it'll take to get up on the Apple Store or the Spotify podcast list. I don't know Spotify, so I don't know what it's called. But yeah, well, if you guys are hearing this, obviously you're listening to us somehow. So go follow us on social media. Go to our website, like us, share us.
Yeah, I'll link all of the social media in the podcast description. So
awesome. Well,
all right.
That's it from us. We will see you guys later, and hope you guys.
We hope you'll hear us later.